Hi, my name is Rona Ijenogwa, and you're welcome to Creative Female Convergence.
All right, we are moving on to our next speaker. She currently works as a quality assurance analyst in the Gen AI space. And she's not just making sure AI models are improving, she's building all sorts of things, her family, her relationship with God, personal projects, and of course with herself. Being a lover of beauty, she enjoys various ways this can be expressed, and of course, the media through which it is expressed. She enjoys it in music, photography, film, interior design, stories, and poetry. In addition, she loves to listen to and engage in respectful and meaningful conversations. Hello. She also works at a Center for Cultural Development and coordinates various activities aimed at the holistic development of young girls and women. Through her involvement and interest in community building and art, she hopes to foster creativity and collaboration within creative communities. Help me welcome Ella Abung. She's going to be talking about life beyond the frame. Continue clapping.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Now, when I was handed this mic, I just thought, this feels very heavy. So I'm nervous. So now we have that out of the way. I'm going to start. This is a very cozy space. And I had learned something or heard something very brilliant from someone regarding speaking to a group. And he was saying that when you have to talk to a group, in essence, you're not really talking to the group. You're talking to the people that make up the group. So I'm hoping that I can talk to Augusta. I can talk to Esusa. I can talk to each one of you. Um, so I was given this topic, life beyond the frame, and I thought, okay, this is broad. Like this is like, okay, if the person isn't shooting, what are the other things? And that's like almost the whole of life, more or less. And I just thought, okay, no problem. We'll see how this goes. Okay, first I want to start with two main ideas. There was a TED talk by Ethan Hawke, I think he's a movie director, and in that talk he was talking about art and how sometimes we think that art is a luxury, that it's something nice to do. So maybe you're a writer, okay, maybe it's good to. I like writing. It's good to write and all those kind of things. But he said there, and I really liked the idea that it's something that we need. Create creativity, art, it's not just a feel good, nice thing to do. It's something we need as human beings because it's a way we express ourselves. I think that one is more obvious. But there's also a way to connect with other people. It's a way to heal each other in the sense that someone else sees something that you have put out and then they get the feeling or they remember rather that it's not just me. I'm not just the only one going through this, or I'm not just the only one experiencing this. And it may not always be in the negative sense. It can also be positive as well. Then the second thing is so I work on data that is used to build AI models, right? And AI is receiving a lot of attention. And usually, when we speak about AI, the next thing that follows, the next concern is human creativity. There was something I heard recently in a conversation I was watching, and one of the speakers was saying that she doesn't think she's more she doesn't think AI would or can take over human creativity because think about it. If you ask Gemini, for instance, to write a short story for you, it's goes, collects all the things that people have done over the years on the internet and puts together something nice for you. You may say, ah, okay, this is new, this is a new short story and all of that, but is it? Because it's clips, snippets of people's work. So in the end, we are the ones who will keep creating things. And anyway, so there's that. So I had done this course on artificial intelligence, and one of the main areas it covered was human creativity. And one of the things it had asked us to do was go out and try new things, um, gather new experiences, more or less live life, because that is what will come back to inform whatever it is that you're going to create. So sometimes, especially when maybe we are on a personal project, we have planned, we have set deadlines for ourselves. We can become very fixated on, I need to grow these ideas, I need to do this thing that I have planned for. And then somehow the other areas of our lives are just passing us by. We are not paying attention. But it's funny because the things that we do outside the moment we are creating are those are the very things that will feed our creativity. So yes, those two things just to keep in mind. Now, on the main topic of life beyond the frame, I thought of talking about three broad areas, and one of them, the first one is identity, the second is relationships, and the third is work. Um, so usually when we mention identity, the first thing, the classic question is who are you? And sometimes we start by giving saying our name, okay, sorry, I'm calling it, okay, let me call it okay. I'm Onome, or then you continue with what you do. I'm a writer, I'm from Kaduna State, and all those things. So for instance, I'm Onome is all these things I've mentioned, they make up our identity, like our names, where we are from, what we do, and all that. But say, for instance, that I'm Onome is a proper answer to what is your name, right? And or if you say I'm a writer, that's a proper answer to what you do. But who are you? I think this is more than giving a talk. I think what I'm trying to do more than anything is get us thinking about some things. Yeah. And if you this is also very important because I don't know if you've ever taken care of a family member or a friend who has been very ill. Maybe the person has lost most of um, maybe the person is in a very critical condition, maybe bedridden or something, and they are not as you knew them. Maybe they're not doing the things they used to do, all that you have known about them. Would you then say that this person doesn't have an identity? So if you check, if you ask yourself this question, I mean, the answers I gave, yes, in many circumstances they can pass, but on a very essential level, to ourselves, asking ourselves this question, or someone else asking us this question at a very essential level, we would need to go beyond the things that we do, the things that or maybe where we are from, and all those things. And I think our identities are very much linked to the goal we have set for our lives, what we are aiming at, what we are pursuing. And to be honest, the things that can be pursued in life, they have a hierarchy. Some things are more satisfying than others, and I can say for sure that you for as Mr. Wale was saying, profit is important, but in the hierarchy of things, people are more important than profit. So it's less material, it's more character based. It's more for people of faith in maybe God, you know. And it's important to discover who we are because it's, as I said, about experiences and all of that, it links very much to what we create. And apart from linking very much to what we create, it helps us to show up more authentically in the work that we are putting out. It helps us to show up in that unique and unrepeatable manner in which we exist. Because each of us, we are unique, we are unrepeatable. And it's important that we continue discovering who we are and bringing that out in the work that we create. And this is a lifelong journey. I don't think it's something that you will say, okay, I'm sure, or well, no, you can say you are sure of who you are, but then sometimes you forget. Sometimes you're under so much pressure that you forget that sometimes they are not acting in accordance with it. You say you're this and then you're moving in the other direction and you're losing yourself. So it's important we have that at the forefront. Okay, so that's identity. Then the second broad area I was going to talk about is relationships. When I was talking about the whole thing of art being important and how it helps us to express ourselves, I think the part of expressing ourselves, I think that part is more obvious. Well, it's obvious somehow. I mean, not to everybody, but there's that. But there's also the part where, as I said, art is very relational because sometimes we think that the things that we are grappling with are unique to us, or maybe we forget. Because I think, yes, that's one thing about us. Most times, it may not just be that we don't know, but that we are forgetting. So that art is very relational. Now, not just to viewers or the people consuming what we create. Yeah. When I talk about relationships, I'm saying this may come out in faith. It may come out. It can come out in family. It can come out in friendships. It can come out in creative communities. And I think that we can, let's say, harness the power of art to bring us to build stronger relationships. So you may have read novels where they're describing the classic writer, locked up in his study, married to his wife, who is very dissatisfied because he's not paying attention. So they said he only comes out to eat and all that, and eventually the marriage crashes. But does it really have to be so? Does art or our creative endeavors, do they have to drive a wedge between us and the people that are important to us? Not necessarily. It can actually be a tool to strengthen the relationships that are important. So if you're a photographer, for instance, I remember that there was this lady I was following on Instagram. I've forgotten her name, but she took very seriously the project of documenting her baby boys when they were growing up. I don't think she showed their faces, but she did. She took many pictures of their everyday life, and I was like, these boys are settled for life. They may not remember by themselves what they were doing when they were 3 years old, but they have enough to see. And apart from the products that she puts up online, there is the connection that happens by spending time with her kids and all of that. So in our creative ventures, for instance, we can bring in our family. Maybe they may not be as excited as we are in what we are doing, but then we have a goal. We want to strengthen those relationships. So we can talk them into modeling for us. We can write stories based on their lives and all of that. So yeah, we can really bring artistic endeavors into our relationships, and then also the things that we experience in our relationships can also inform what comes out in our art. Now, I also mentioned faith under relationships because, and this is uniquely true of Christianity, since it's a religion that is centered around a person, a relationship with the person, which is the person of Christ, and that's the reason I had mentioned it under relationship, and it's a legitimate relationship that can also come out in our work, in the choice of the things that we do and all of that. then of course the viewers. I mean, I had said this before of how maybe somebody would see something that you have done and they're like, okay, I think like this is me, or yeah, and this has this doesn't have exactly so much to do with the level of engagement we are getting. The level of engagement is important. Please don't get me wrong. But to remember that we are contributing to a corpus of creative work that even when we are no longer here, somebody can benefit from it. I like music, and I think most of my, I got most of the songs I listen to, some of them from my dad. And then I also like to find new artists. When I say new artists, like new people I haven't heard before, even if they sang in 1980 and all of that. And I remember hearing Fast Car by Tracy Chapman, and I was like, where have you been all my life? I think she sang this song in 1980 or something. Well, it's a very nice song, and I was just thinking, and this is good, and I'm very happy these people put these things there in their lifetime. So yeah, there's that, and then creative communities and collaboration between female creatives. I'm highlighting female creatives here. Fatih had talked about the importance of creative communities and how they push you, they give you that nudge to continue. So of course it's very important to be part of them. But then I want to highlight collaboration between female creatives. Yeah. And I'm saying this because sometimes I hear this thing, I don't know if you've ever heard it before, but maybe somebody will say something like, nah, I don't really like working with women, their wahala is too much, they're too petty, and this, and that, and all that. And for me, first of all, I'm just, usually the person that is saying this is a woman. Just to have this clear. Or maybe something like, I don't like having female friends, I can't do it. Now, I'm not saying, men, it's not like a head should start busting, child, because, but then they usually say things like, no, men will just laugh over things and then everything is good and all of that. But it's not a lie because actually men and women are different. That's it. But at the same time, the sensitivity or what we would see as pettiness or the things that will come out as obstacles in our relationships or in our friendships with other women, that's the part of them that brings out those things that we may find uncomfortable and hard to go through. It's also that sensitivity is also the same part of them that comes out in caring for other people, in caring for, I mean, for those that are married, in caring for the children, in being perceptive to their spouse, to even their friends, if they are good friends. And sometimes I think that the emphasis can fall a bit too much on the fact that this thing, if it happened between I and a guy, he will not even take offense. I don't know why she's angry and all this kind of thing. But I think we need to highlight more the strengths of that sensitivity because to care for somebody, you have to be sensitive. I mean, it is not possible if you are not. So it's actually a strength. Of course, everybody can improve and everybody can do better. But then I think more and more we need to highlight that even if we don't think that way, if we hear people talking about it, we need to tell them the better side of that story, and then know that like clear out more or less that prejudice so that there's more room for collaboration and all of that. So yes, that's relationships, and then finally work. I think there's a lot of intellectual and theological work that has been done when it comes to the meaning of work. People work, we spend a lot of our time working, and people work for different reasons. I mean, for some people, they're just even trying to get by. So, and if we are lucky, we might be working at a job that we really enjoy. Yeah, but then even at that, there will be parts of the work that maybe if we can outsource this part, we will just gladly outsource it because we may not be enjoying that part of the job so much. Or even the part of the work we enjoy, there's also some tiredness that can come from that and all. But even with all these things, yeah, work is still very much part of our human dignity. And sometimes um, maybe people may make the joke that I want to retire early, or maybe they even mean it, they want to retire early. And all that. But if you really think about it, do you really want to? Because what would you then be doing? Before you know what is happening, you are bored to the goals and you are looking for what to do. And the thing is, one of the things that work does is part of what gives our life meaning, seeing that we are contributing, we are giving value in one way or another. So yeah, it's an integral part of our dignity. And then another way of looking at work is work as service. I mean, it may sound like a buzz, well, let me not say a buzzword, but we would definitely have heard it before, have thought about it. But I think it's very important to approach work in that manner, that one way or the other, giving value to someone else. Even though there are some professions where the values, where the service given is very direct. So, for instance, a nurse taking care of a patient in the hospital, you are seeing how the patient is improving. They are seeing they are seeing the progression and the, let's say, the fruits of your labor, so to speak. And that is a very direct service. Now there are some other things that maybe they are not so direct. So um, you're writing something, and you maybe at the time it hasn't really created the impact that you wanted, or most of your work hours you're sitting in front of a computer. It's very easy to forget that in the end, the people who get from what you are, that in the end it is people rather who get from the work that you are putting in. Even if you are trying to develop things for plants, in the end, people will tend to those plants. It will be somebody's means of livelihood, it will be somebody's food to eat and all of that. So approaching our work in that manner, that we are serving somebody, we are serving others, and we are creating value in their life, even when we are forgetting it, or when the way we do it is not very direct. So yeah, I think it's very important. And the thing is, we also have many needs as human beings. We have material needs. That one is more obvious. But we also have spiritual needs. We are not body alone. We are body and soul. So we have that. We have psychological needs, emotional needs, and there are the work that people do come together to meet those needs. And sometimes I think it's a bit of a pity, even though it's understandable, when people say they are studying this and somebody's like, what are you going to do with that one? First of all, the person may not even know the what that course might entail. So let me give an example. Maybe environmental, what's the course now? Something environmental and toxicology. I've forgotten the word in between. But sorry. Exactly. Environmental management and toxicology. Now, sometimes people may be like, oh, so what are you going to do with that? And all. And yeah, as I said, it's understandable because of the setting that we are in and the opportunities. And so most times when it comes from parents, it's out of care and all of that. But then I think also it's a pity because every sector, every area of work is needed to build, like to meet the needs, as I said, of we human beings, which I mean we have many needs. And art is one of them. Right. Even though it's not so obvious as okay, I'm saving all these people and doing but then we may be meeting somebody's psychological needs, we may be meeting somebody's spiritual needs and all of that. So I think it's very important to approach work in this way. So to conclude, I think we need to try to live a very rich life, to be intentional about living a very rich life outside our creative activity. I mean, I just mentioned these three broad areas. They take up most of the time. And for most people, these are the areas that are important to them. And also to set on the ongoing process of knowing ourselves, consolidating the relationships, and bring our creativity into those relationships as well. And also to approach our work with that idea that we are serving other people, we are creating value in one way or the other. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Miss Ella. Do we have any questions? Okay.
I won't let him leave the room before he runs away. By the way, this is Nimo Basi, Director of Health of Mundite Foundation. He's my mentor, he's my father, my uncle, my friend. I didn't tell him to come, but he's always there to support us. Can we celebrate him once again? Let's just hear one word for him. Yes, he's a man of wisdom.
Stand here. I don't know why he called me out, but I'm really glad that I came in. I mean, for the moment the event was advertised on social media, I was following up the adverts, and I was really very intrigued about what this would all be about. And I'm really glad that you all showed up and the quality of presentations. I was listening to some of the talks from upstairs, and so I said, no, you better go down and see what is going on. And so I'm really glad I came to hear your presentation about what you're doing. It's very inspiring, really, and I've learned a lot from your presentation too. And I think we're going to find a way to put this into other things we're doing together. Wale is extremely creative, and we've worked together for a very long time, and God helping us, we continue to work together. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. Ella, sorry for cutting into your space. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bukola, and my first question is on, you talked about identity, and you said how it helps you create authentically. But what about if you don't know who you are? You don't know how to find out who you are. Right from the moment that we've been born, you see your parents will arrange your life for you. How far? You are a lawyer. You go to school and you study law. That's what I want you to do. But you realize that you have this yearning to create, but you do not know how to create, one, or who you are, so how you would be able to push out yourself as a creative. So even if you are coming to workshops, you are hearing, everything that you need to hear, you don't know how to apply that in your own creative journey. So that's one. What do you do when you struggle to find your own identity? And okay, that's my first question. My second question, you talked about work as a service to others. What happens when your work is your source of livelihood? Like, I'm a creative and I love being a creative, but I need this thing for money. You need to work out for me because this is all that I have. How do you then present yourself authentically? How do you push for yourself to be seen, even though you are trying to cater to a market? How do you do that? Yeah. How do you do that? Thank you very much.
So what's your name?
Bukola.
Okay, thank you for that question. So I think when you were asking about how you find your identity, one of the things, at least in my experience, is friendships, mentorships. I mean, good quality friendships with people who really care about you and have some experience with all these kind of things. So I think looking out for people like that you can build relationships with, who can help you discover yourself and all. So I think that's basically it. Friendships and good quality friendships and mentorship. Yeah, I don't know if that helps.
Sorry, I think I have something to say.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I think identifying yourself is not something that just happens one time. It's a journey, actually. So as you go on, you keep on, because there are a lot of things that are opening up. It's like a ball of onions when you open and open and open up. Today you might know this is who I am, but tomorrow it's not like you are changing, but there is an addition, and it seems like you are moving, accelerating. It's moving small, and you know who you become. So it's not something that just happened. Like today, I just know this is who I am. Like this is all I am. Thank you.
So seeing work as service is not mutually exclusive to it being your source of livelihood, right? Because sometimes you hear that when people start businesses, you don't go in with with straight up with the idea of I want to make money. Of course, you need to make money to keep that business running. If not, it's going to crumble. But you need to identify your value offering. So what are you offering? What are you putting out there? And really, it comes with that thing of that ongoing journey of trying to see who am I and what is the unique thing that I'm putting into what I'm creating and how is this serving other people. Now they usually say, I think this is in advertising, that if you're trying to sell something to somebody, you need to convince the person that they need this thing, right? And sometimes people need things, but they don't even know that they need it. And it's so take for instance, when I started wearing glasses, before I started wearing glasses, I thought everybody was seeing the same way I was seeing. I thought once you leave the second row, you can't see the screen anymore. I thought that was it. And really, there's no one you can know because you're not seeing through other people's eyes. Except somebody tells you, like, yeah, like that's quick to go check your eyes. So you need to identify the unique thing you are bringing, the value you are bringing. Sometimes you may feel like there's nothing unique about what I'm bringing because somebody else is also offering it. But then, as I said, each person is unique and not repeatable, really. And you may be offering the same thing, but in another way, or in a way that would serve a particular group of people that are not getting reached. So I think the long and short of it is that seeing work as service doesn't mean that you put profit aside, but trying to discover the value you are offering in your creative work. So yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's more like a contribution. When you spoke about art bringing out our relationship or enlightening on our relationship, our friendship, and all, I realized that almost everybody has this misconception about African literature. They will tell you that most African literature, they talk about abuse most of the time. They talk about how marriages are ruined, how the women are suffering in relationship, and most times that's what most people feel. So when you tell somebody or when you want to recommend a book an African literature, they will tell you, no, I don't read African literature, they traumatized me a lot. But I think last year or 2 years ago or early this year, I read 2 African literatures. Although the beginning started with abuse, but as the book came to an end, it showed us how these women, they were able to overcome this abuse, how they were able to stand that. And one of them was Broken by Fatima Bala, and the second one was The Parlor Wife by Folusho Agbaje. In The Parlor Wife, if other people tell that particular story, they will tell the story in a way that from the beginning to the end, the woman would have died in that marriage or suffered in that relationship. But when Folusho Agbaje told that particular story, at the end, we saw the main character. She stood out. She was able to overcome, even when her husband was a very dangerous man in society. And she just told herself that no matter what, I will stand out, I will come out. And that's one of the things art helps us to do. It changes the narrative of abuse, and help us to see things in other lights that, okay, yes, women do face abuse, women do encounter these things, but they are going to, or they are able to stand that. They don't have to die in that situation. And secondly, concerning work that you spoke of, and you mentioned one course, although that's not my course, that's not the course I'm studying. It's close to my faculty, Science Laboratory Technology. At first, when I wrote JAMB, right from secondary school, I told myself I wanted to be a doctor because I wanted to help people and all that. But after writing JAMB 3 times, they threw me to SLT. What would I do? I think in my 3rd year, I found out that I'm not really into science. I'm really into art. But I cannot leave. So what do I do about it? I just told myself that, okay, we can stay here, but we can also incorporate some art into science. We can actually tell some scientific stories using art and helping people to see. So at a point, I got stuck, like, will I use this course to work? What will I do with my life? But honestly, I began to learn to see that okay, science is actually beautiful, and merging science with art, it will make it extremely beautiful and it will bring out something else. Thank you. That's all.
All right.
I was just going to say something. It's just a bit like what Matthew is doing with public health. Yeah, that was one of the things that came to my mind. And then secondly, I was also going to say something to what Bukola said about identity. So the center I work at, the cultural center I work at, one of the things we do is, as it was read in the bio, holistic development of women. And that word holistic is very key because we we organize activities that can be like help students grow, say professionally in their academics and all of that. But then we also try to see how they can balance other areas of their life. Because as I said, I think one thing that's also key to discovering who you are is trying to harmonize the different parts of our lives. Because sometimes there's the tilt, the balance, the scale of tilt, and then there's extreme pressure on one side, maybe our professional life, and then our spiritual life is suffering, our social life is suffering, or we're not paying enough attention to our emotions and all of that. So I mean that's one of the things that's what the center is set up for really. And in meeting that the center and working there has helped me, and also I think it has helped many other women as well. So
Yeah, I think mine is more of a response to our question about identity. I think that, when you're young, you don't really know who you are or what you are. So I would say that it's during experimenting that you find out who you are. Because like in your teens and your 20s, you are, like she also said, what your parents want you to be. It's later that you discover who you are. So I think giving yourself time is important, like experimenting with different things, making those mistakes, going through all the trials and tribulations before you know who you are. So I think take it slowly day by day, explore all the things you are interested in. You'll find out that you're stronger in some. But I also agree that you can have multiple identities. Multiplicity is something that I highly encourage. You can be 5 different things at once. And I think that you as a human have the ability to adapt to being different things. You are Muslim, you're Christian, so many identities. So I think give yourself that time and space, and, don't really force yourself to one identity. Explore everything that you can be.
Thank you very much. Are we done? You're done? Okay. All right. Thank you very much.